Hey there, David Gordon from TheaterMania here. It is Wednesday, September 30th. I'm here with the great Jason Butler Harner, uh, star of stage and screen. It's not even soon. It's next week you're going to be seen on the new Fox series Next. It premieres October 6th. I've seen 3 episodes. It's great and terrifying all at the same time, and I'm excited to talk to you about it.
I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Because it's so new and no one really knows what it is yet, can you describe the show and your character in your own words?
Sure, absolutely. So we premiere October 6th at 9 p.m. It's called Next. It's John Slattery and I are brothers, and we have a tech company called Zava that creates an AI, artificial intelligence, that starts off in the show called Eliza, but the one we've created is called Next. And the whole thing happens. John's out, and basically John leaves because, or his character's name is Paul LeBlanc. Paul leaves because he realizes the thing he's created is going to surpass human intelligence, and therefore humans will be vulnerable. We think that's crazy, but it turns out to be true. So then it does this thing. Next starts to imagine if every device you have with a microphone and a camera that you come in contact with, obviously your computer, your phone, Nest, ATM, traffic light, everything. Imagine if one artificial intelligence could communicate to all of those, and then it decided that it didn't like you and it wanted to make your life really difficult. That's what it's about.
The scary thing is I can see that happening eventually.
I mean, it is happening.
Yeah.
Not to like fan the flames. We don't need any more fear or anxiety. And the show is an action ride, and it's fun. And the whole 10 episodes take place in a compressed time. You know, one of the showrunner is Manny Cotto, who did 24. So he's aces about like compressed time, short episode. I mean, episodes. The actual episode encapsulates a day, maybe.
Right.
So a lot happens over the course of that of those 10 episodes. But it's very real. Like, it's not all these things were listen, the pandemic has made us appreciate technology even more, but also recognize how much of our own privacy and agency we're also giving away for convenience. And also what's the word? I mean, you just can get things done a lot faster.
Exactly. How did you get this part? Did they call you in? Was it written for you? Did you audition?
It wasn't written for me. I wish it was. I finished the 2 seasons of Ozark, which was amazing. And I was hungry to do something, obviously. Basically, I'm grateful for all this, but it's a way to keep supporting my theater passion, frankly. And so they had cast a lot of everybody else. Obviously, John was cast, and John and I know each other from New York theater. Yeah. And then they hadn't cast the brother yet, and it seemed kind of exciting. And I was excited to get to play a guy who had nice clothes and a lot of money and wasn't the villain, but I was really excited about that. And then we get there. We shot the pilot in Vancouver and then the series in Chicago. So it was fun to see a whole bunch of theater while filming the series in Chicago, and introduce my castmates to that a lot.
I was going to say you must have lived at like Steppenwolf and stuff.
I saw their production of Dance Nation. I saw Bug and previews. I saw, what else did I see? I saw a few things at the Goodman for sure, and then some of the smaller. They have a whole vast small theater community, which New York used to have. We don't. When I moved to New York in '93, and there were all those theaters, and you could perform down on 4th Street. You can't really do that, or here or someplace. It's not quite the same model anymore. Obviously now there's no theater and it's horrible, but so it was fun to go discover these companies in Chicago and see what they're creating and what their take of Iphigenia is.
Yeah. So that must have been last winter. So you could, right?
Yeah, we finished the series. We're really lucky. We finished the series. I was on the last day, March 6th.
Oh, wow.
I went back to LA that night. I had been in New York like the week prior to to go to the opening of West Side Story and to see a preview for The Minutes, which was amazing. And then my stepfather had a stroke in Delaware, so went to go see them. Thank you. Unfortunately he's gone. And anyway, and so then I went back. We finished on March 6th in Chicago. I went home to LA, and on March 9th, we were the first show that had somebody on the a line producer had COVID, and we had just assumed it had been, it was a rough, when you work filming a new series, it's really long hours in the Chicago winter, and we all were very cautious of Corona. We didn't know as much as we know now, and we just assumed it was exhaustion and the Chicago cold. But and she's fine, thank God, she's fine, and nobody else got sick. But anyway, so we're lucky that we finished. We were going to be they punted it to a fall premiere, and we finally get to see it. I've seen the first 5 episodes, so I'm excited. I'm really excited for it.
Are you the kind of actor that likes watching yourself, or do you like fast forward through the parts that you're in?
I don't. I mean, sometimes I'm curious just from a perspective. I'm always curious for what made it in.
Right.
And on Ozark, I got to shadow 4 episodes, 2 each season. Oh, cool. And I even approach acting on stage. I have a certain kind of director's eye where I appreciate the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I recognize my function in the thing. And if anything, I've had to work as an actor to make sure I was taking care of just my function large enough. You know what I mean? But my training, my undergrad training, I went to VCU in Richmond, Virginia, and then I got my master's at NYU, and both appreciate very much the whole machine that makes something work. So anyway, so in terms of watching myself, I don't enjoy watching myself at all. I hate it, but I also am curious what made it in, and I'm curious also other things. Technically, I'm still curious about like maybe what I thought I was doing and what somebody else saw, or how it's been skewed, But I can watch an episode once and that's it. I can't go back. Like with Ozark, took a big success over the pandemic. People who hadn't discovered the first 2 seasons really discovered it. Yeah. So I got a lot of attention from it, and it was interesting. I watched a couple episodes because I was curious about how they resonated anymore,
Yeah.
But because there were mean people that, that guy, Agent Petty, he was a tough character and lovable in his own way, but there were a lot of people that wanted him to die. And maybe I went down a couple rabbit holes late at night during the pandemic and would just tweet back like, "Don't worry, season 2, episode 10, you get your wish." So
amazing. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. But also it was like over a year and a half old. So I was like, it's not really a spoiler.
I was gonna say that show's been on forever now. Was Next hard to shoot? Was it like as intense as it seems to shoot, or was it?
It was. It was the great thing about it, and this is the absolute truth, which is that the cast was incredible.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun. That just isn't always the case. I was blessed really big time with Ozark, but in this one, you're meeting new people. And John, there's that expression, the fish stinks from the head.
Right.
And John smells good. He makes a great work ethic. He's such a consummate actor, and one of his most I'm most respectful of it. The gift that he has is he just makes everything effortless and seamless. And so in a show which does have a couple moments of real computer jargon and this is what's happening, it can be a trap to fall into that. And he just made it all simple, and he allowed, and also our show runner Manny Cotto, and then John Rico and Glenn Ficarra, who do This Is Us and Wisco Tango, what the hell is it called? I forgot. Anyway, they shoot it in a way where it's the camera guys are very in there with you. So if you have a scene where 6 people are talking, I've been on sets where it's like, now it's your take, now it's your take. And by the time you get to the 6th person, you're just like, is there anything alive anymore? And so here it was very like over 2 shoulders. So it would happen and there was movement around you. So it just made it go. And you didn't feel the onus to amp up the stakes larger than they already were. So it made it really fun, like surprisingly fun.
And
also we got to Chicago's great. Also, yeah. Chicago's a great.
And I was going to say Slattery's theater background must have helped too in terms of being able to play off it.
I was so happy. I was teasing him because I played Hildy in the front page at Williamstown, and then obviously he did that great production with Jack a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Yeah. So I was every now and then I would tease him about, there's challenges in the front page. There's some really big challenges, including stamina for that character. And so I would tease him about stuff. And then we'd also have things where the series takes place in Portland and Palo Alto. So every now and then when there's like snow hidden in the background of Chicago. Like, and every time I had to work, we had a joke with the crew that every time I had to work and it was outside, it would be raining or snowing. And I was like, I mean, I guess there's snow in Palo Alto, but they figured out a way because they're, movie magic to get rid of it. But he's the best. He's really the best. So funny and able to help you not dutifully fall into a trap of overacting, basically.
Yeah.
But there's some really exciting people. I can't wait for, Aaron Moten's on it.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I'm excited for everybody to discover him because I remember seeing him in the flick. Whatever.
So good. He's the coolest cat. He's also ripped. Nobody knows this. It's like I'm good friends with Will Jackson Harper too.
Yeah.
And then the world got to discover Will Jackson Harper's incredible talent, which he has one of the best voices in the world, but also he's an incredible actor. And then when Chidi took off his shirt on The Good Place, the world went crazy. So when Aaron takes his shirt off in season 2 of Next, please, the world can discover that other skill of Aaron Moten.
I want to talk about Animals, which is a play that I assume we were supposed to be doing live this summer, but instead it was pivoted to an audio recording.
They did. Mandy Greenfield and Audible did a really great thing where they figured out their solution.
Yeah.
Listen, theater, I miss it in my heart so much. And I also am trying to focus on the positive of appreciating the innovation that's coming out of it and the changes that need to happen. Certainly, we know a lot of political things need to change within our theater environment as well. But what they did that was so great was they took these plays, including, Streetcar Named Desire, cast with Audra McDonald and Carla Gugino, and then also new plays, most importantly, new plays. This great play, Animals, by Stacey Osei Kuffour, who just won an Emmy for Watchmen and also wrote on Pen 15 and is an actress in her own right as well as a writer. And Whitney White directing, who's a damn force of nature. I've been wanting to work with her for a very long time.
I discovered her this year through Drug Lord. Dear Dead Drug Lord. And
I wish I saw that. I wish I had seen that production. I read the play and I wish I had seen it, especially when the gory stuff happened.
It was bananas. That ending, and it's funny, I interviewed Alexis, the playwright, right after I saw it, and the publicity team sent me a very specific, please do not talk about the ending.
Oh, right.
And it's like, all I want to, after you see it, all you want to do is talk about the ending, but you can't.
They did a good job. Lisa, McNulty, they did a good job keeping that secret and not overhyping it as the event of the season. Just like, let's not talk about the ending. But anyway, so we did this play Animals, and what Williamstown Theater Festival was able to do is they turned it into audible recordings. So it's so we, in the cast is Aja Naomi King, that you people will know from How to Get Away with Murder, and Madeline Brule, who is on what's it called, Handmaid's Tale. She has one eye, and then Will Jackson Harper's in it, and it's a great play. It's one evening, 2 couples who have dinner up in Washington Heights, and Aja and I are a couple, and Will and Madeline are another couple, and stuff comes out, and of course there's gonna be some examination of interracial relationships and New Yorkers, definitely, because New Yorkers are the animals in the title. Nice. New Yorkers, it's about, part of the premise is like, you got to be an animal to sustain living in New York. You got to be hungry, scrappy, and you can have some negative things about it, but you also got to be a survivalist to live in New York, which you are.
Right.
Which you are.
Yeah. You're and I was born here too, so I guess that's double.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You've done audiobooks before. Is it weird to like record a whole play via audio as opposed to just you narrating a book or reading a book?
Yeah. I mean, the challenge is partially, there's so many things. One, we were all in separate locations.
Right.
Will was in LA. He's a block from where I live in LA. AJ was in Austria. Madeline was in LA. Anyway, so Whitney was in Chicago. The assistant director was in New Jersey. Anyway, so we were all over the place. So the challenge is that, like, I had a section where I had a whole Foley section. So I recorded the play in a studio apartment in New York City, because after doing some family stuff, I needed to get to a quiet place, and I used this apartment in New York City. So I was in the walk-in closet. I had a whole section of bottles and forks and bowls and food that you could eat that's not disgusting, but like blueberries are good and Turkish apricots are good. If you need a crunch, put an almond in there. Anyway, so the whole behavior of doing a play, and let's say there's a section in the play where my character goes silent for a while, but silence on stage is extremely powerful. It's a field day. What you can give Linda Lavin a tissue or a handbag, and any monologue you have is not interesting anymore. So in this situation,
what play was
it
that?
was like, well, Linda, any play Linda's in,
Yeah.
she's incredible. Or there's that great story about the Cherry Orchard when Meryl Streep was like Dunyasha, and she made a choice because she's Dunyasha to knock over a pair of matchbook things, and then a whole scene's happening, and Dunyasha is picking up each matchstick at a time and putting it away, and people are like, what's going on with what's going on with Irene Worth over there? Anyway, so transfer to try to figure out how to do it on your own, and also, as great as all of this technology is, finding ways. There's things you can't hear.
Right.
And also, things that would be fun behavior, trying to make sure ways that you could show love or other things in a look, or, a couple clocking another person's, line. And, it became an interesting challenge to figure out how to put that in. There's a whole lot of sub vocals going on, a lot of and I can't wait to see what Whitney and the sound editors come up with to try to help tell that story.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, they had to listen. We didn't record them in full. I mean, we recorded them in big chunks,
right?
So sometimes we would do 2 takes, maybe 3 takes of the scene, but we're all on separate microphones. So it becomes, one of the things I love about the theater is we make this thing together in a room. We come together. It's literally, as I've gotten on in years, I have a theory about energy between audience and actor, and obviously between actor and actor with each other. And so as great as this is, and some energy that we can have with each other, the difference about being in a communal space at the same time, and what can happen, like your heartbeat synchronize, all these things. So it was interesting to try to figure out how to lean into new ways of storytelling with this thing. I can't wait to hear it, because also the play is so good, Stacey's so talented, and Whitney was able to push things even, you can, what you think you may be giving,
right,
just vocally, audibly, like in the process, in translation, it can be getting lost in you. And that was interesting to try to sharpen those skills. I mean, who's working? I'm friends with so many people, and I've watched so many plays. I've done some great reading for, a number of things. And it's been fascinating to see what's successful for you individually.
Right.
Like that Seawall Andrew Scott thing, which they had recorded,
right.
I thought that was very successful in terms of a hybrid of theater yet made for a camera. That was
I have a hard
pretty
time
spectacular.
Theater on film, but that's a whole different story.
I'm with you. I have done it dutifully. And I've done it to watch how people have the growth of it in these months, from we're all in a Zoom session. Yeah,
the growth of it.
Look what they did with Moliere in the Park. What
I know.
Bergian did. And then I think we're talking about doing, I was in this play that I love so much called Cock, Mike Bartlett, with, and we're talking about, Connor had the idea, Cotter Smith. And anyway, we might do, it's a little bit easier because it's a 4-hander, and there was never any stage or props.
That play would be good for that.
It could be, right? It'll be interesting. It could be. I wonder how they would, that great thing about that play that has no props, no set, just that cockfight ring. Yeah. I wonder how you could translate it in, because the other thing is, the part that I was trying to explain to somebody the other day who's not an actor, my mom just turned 75. So I did this video thing where like everybody sent in a self video, and I gathered them and did a thing. So, our families, especially anybody over even 60, doesn't know what landscape means or anything. But I was trying to explain to them, when you're acting, like right now, I want to look at you, but I'm looking at the camera.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which, if I'm on a film set, I understand how I'm working with the camera. I'm working with the camera the way that I'm working with an audience on stage, like what is the audience seeing that I can play with or not? But in terms of doing a reading or acting with somebody, you're sort of acting and then looking down at the person. So I'm curious how it works.
Yeah. Jason, thanks for your time.
You're so welcome.
I
Tune in next. It's really good. It's really good. It's a little scary, but it's a fun, action-packed, scary.
Yeah.
It's a good fun.
October 6th, 9 p.m. on Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Nice to see you.
You, and thanks everybody for watching. Be well and take care.
See you in the theater.
Hopefully.
Please. Bye.
Bye.